So Rabindranath is in search of humanity, and he says that that I have traveled in many countries and have met with men of all classes, but never in my travels did I feel the presence of the human so distinctly as in this land. So he found the presence of human very distinctly in Japan, and Rabindranath is indeed in search of humanity, in contrast to in mechanical organization, whether we call it political civilization or nationalism or anything else. And he rejects any kind of display or any kind of extravagance. And he says, you see everywhere emblems of love and admiration, and not mostly of ambition and greed. So he's in search of the symbols of love and admiration, not ambition or greed. So he rejects ambition or greed. And he also speaks of sympathy, and then he says dominating nature from outside is a much simpler thing than making her your own in love's delights. So he is not in support of domination from outside. Rather, he is in support of love, and with love to make something one's own, which is the work of true genius. And he calls this making something own in love's delight as a work of genius. Then he says, your instincts have become true, your senses keen, and your hands are backward, natural skill. So, in contrast to something artificial, he speaks of the natural skill, the, the acquired natural skill. Our relationship with the world is a deeper relationship of the heart, and the relationship with the neighboring countries or with the world should be the relationship of the heart. The spiritual bond of love she established with the hills of her country, with the sea and the streams. So we cannot go against nature, but rather utilize, if at all to utilize nature, we must utilize it in a very loving way. It is a civilization of human relationship. So he is always speaking about human relationship, love, humanity. The obligations, it is an extension of the family of the obligation of the hearts in a wide field of space and time. So again and again he is speaking about the responsibility of the obligations of the heart. And then he speaks of Moitri. Moitu with men and Moitu with nature. So he's speaking of love with men and love with nature. And the true expression of this love is a language of beauty. And it says that this expression of this love is always in the language of beauty. The huge heterogeneity of the modern age, whose only common bond is usefulness. So, the variety or the heterogeneity of the modern age, whose only common bond is usefulness. So, Rabindranath is rejecting usefulness, and he says that this bond of usefulness is nowhere so beautifully exposed as against the dignity and hidden power of reticent beauty as in Japan. So, this bond of usefulness becomes very prominent when seen against the, the very silent beauty which we find in Japan. But the danger lies in this that organized ugliness storms the mind and carries the day by its mass. Again and again, he is rejecting organized ugliness or usefulness. So, he's, he's not in support of any kind of utility or usefulness, rather, he is in search of the bond of friendship and love. Therefore, is rivalry with the things that are modest and profound and have the subtle delicacy of life is to be dreaded. And Rabindranath says that we cannot grow by means of mimicry. We cannot imitate the West. Those one must bear in mind that those who have the true modern spirit need not modernize. That if our spirit is modern, we need not modernize. Just as those who are truly brave are not braggarts. So it's rejecting any kind of empty show or display or extravagance. True modernism, according to Rabindranath, is freedom of minds, not slavery to taste. And therefore, we should not believe in imitation or mimicry. It is independent of thought and action. So, we must have the freedom or independence of thought and action. And that is true modernism, according to Rabindranath, not tutelage under European schoolmasters. And therefore, we should not imitate the ways. It is science, but not its wrong application in life. Obviously, true modernism is science, but not its wrong application in life. So, we should not imitate, we should not believe in mimicry, and we should not use science in a wrong way. That will, that will be against modernism, because true modernism is a freedom of the minds. It is independent of thought and action.